Brett vs. Diesel still holds up even after 25 years. I'm John Rentham with a retro review of WWE Survivor Series 1995. The year where Vince McMahon lost $6 million and had to change up a lot of things, and pay-per-views started to get better at this point, especially after the October In Your House, which was not very good. Diesel versus British Bulldog. Oh fucking dear. But honestly, the pay-per-views did get a whole lot better after this. And this one, despite a couple dips, was actually pretty damn fun. That main event, Brett versus Diesel, that was really good. And also, the traditional elimination matches actually meant something. I would say this in 96 or 2 that still hold up to this day is having a mix of really good elimination matches and really good, and a really good title match. Sid versus Shawn, one of Sid's best matches in his career, and I'll actually retro review that at some point. But yeah, Mr. Perfect joins commentary with JR and Vince. And then we get Mari Jannetty, Bob Sparkplug Holly, Hakushi, and Barry Horowitz, who was doing the whole win streak thing after losing for years and years and years. Now he was kind of getting a bit of a push. They took on Skip with Sonny, the gutter trash that is Tammy Sitch. Dr. Tom Pritchard before he became a Body Donna. Rad Radford and 1-2-3 Kid. Ted DiBiase and the aforementioned, gutter trash Sonny were there. And also Sid, 6'9", 320. It's hard to miss Sid. It's really hard to miss the guy. Razor tried to get at Kid for screwing him over and taking a payoff from Ted DiBiase to join the $1 Million Corporation when Sid beat Razor thanks to a fast count from 1-2-3 Kid on Raw. Vince loved to say back body drop a lot. He loved to yell it. The crowd was very alive for this. Holly pins Dr. Tom Pritchard with a crossbody and then soon after gets hit with the most devastating maneuver in all of professional wrestling, a surprise roll-up. And now down to 3-3, kick to the back of Hakushi's head, and Radford gets the pin. Radford tries to do push-ups that look like ones I did when I was in gym class, which aren't very good, and he gets rolled up by Barry Horowitz. And then, Kid with the solution to take care of Horowitz, and, with a leg drop, and then the blonde bombshell befalls Skip, which, that was the power bomb from the top, by the way, but Jannetty hits that. And then Jannetty and 1-2-3 Kid have a few minutes of really good wrestling, close near fall. Sid helps Kid get the win in a celebration, and Sid, man, had the fucking perfect look for wrestling, didn't he? And then Camp Cornette and Douglas talk. Well, 2/3 of them. I mean, British Bulldog was on another team. This was the wild card bitches match that they were hyping up, and it was Owen Hart, Yoko, and Dean Douglas. Shane Douglas being a school teacher. That gimmick got over. Shane Douglas was never great, but he was perfect for ECW, and he was a good tag team wrestler. And Dean Douglas, nobody could have gotten Dean Douglas over. Vince McMahon had to give everybody goddamn occupation, and then wonder why so many people were frustrated with his, lack of direction and the fact that he doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. Oh wait, I'm describing Vince now. Then we get a women's match with a couple American women and a lot of Japanese women, and unfortunately, to the vast majority of people, a lot of them were unfamiliar to many. Bertha Faye, Aja Kong, who is well known, by the way, Lioness Asuka, I've heard the name of, and Tomoko Watanabe. I've heard some of these names, but I can't recall too many of the matches I've seen. With Harvey Whippleman, by the way, that disgusting piece of trash. Alundra Blaze, that is. Chaparetti, Asari, sorry if I'm mispronouncing these, Kyoko Inoue, and Sasaki Hasegawa. Pretty certain I'm just going to be butchering these names and everybody's going to be really upset. This match was really only good because Alundra Blaze took out people and Aja Kong took out people. That was really about the main thing about this match. Aja Kong, however, still wrestling even now. It's a little bit bizarre. Still good, don't get me wrong, even with the age and the miles on her body. But it was cool to see Aja Kong take people out. This was very awkward, though. It did not translate to an audience, an American audience at all, even though many of these women are very talented. Also, Bertha Faye was there. And Aja pins Alundra Blaze. She's going to get a shot at the Women's Championship. Fun fact, Alundra Blaze would be in WCW a few weeks after this and would be dumping the title in the trash on Nitro. Oh boy, I get to retro review that at some point. That's going to be fun. Then we get Goldust versus Bam Bam Bigelow. Well, it was Goldust's pay-per-view debut. Yeah, it was. It was a bit weird. Goldust, this is in the very early stages of his career. And yeah, he gets a running bulldog for the win. Bam Bam would leave the company very soon after this and join ECW. And then join WCW, where he would actually get paid better. And yeah, Tom Pettengill then interviews a Bill Clinton impersonator while Bob Backlund yells. The funny thing about this Bill Clinton impersonator, he actually kind of looked like him. Like if you do a quick glance or even like a bit like, oh, he actually kind of looks like him. Todd Pettengill, by the way, I loved his goddamn energy. The Dark Side, Undertaker, the Phantom of the Undertaker, because he had the mask on, because Mabel was a clueless twat that decided to just break people's skulls and break people's ribs because he was careless and a twat. Undertaker, Savio Vega, Fatu, and Henry O. Godwin. Hog. Do you get it? Hog. He was a hog farmer. Laugh, damn it! Vince, presumably. The Royals, King Mabel, Isaac Yankem, Lawler, and Triple H. Lawler was looking for teenage girls in the crowd, no doubt. Sir Mo was also there. No eliminations over the last 2 minutes. Because Undertaker wasn't in there because he had the injured orbital bone because of the mask, so he couldn't really get in there, and they just had everybody do their stuff. But once Undertaker got tagged, nobody wanted to tag. They're like, no. And then Undertaker just demolishes everybody, takes out Lawler with the tombstone, then takes out Isaac Yankem, and they never faced off again. Wait, that's gotta be Kane Nines being pulled out of his mouth. I'm going to keep forcing these jokes, because if I have to keep forcing these jokes, you know what? I think I'm going to leave that joke in the drafts. The whole point is, though, it's hard to believe that this was the future Kane. Isaac Yankem, a demented dentist, the fake Diesel, also the Christmas creature. You know, he was once the Christmas creature. Look it up. It was the future Kane, and a surefire Hall of Famer with all the years that he's put into wrestling. Don't know why he's anti-mask, if you know what I mean, considering he wore a mask for most of his career, but that's another story for another day. Yeah, and then Taker taking out everybody, like people who donated to the other party, and then he chokeslams Triple H, and then Mabel leaves because he gets counted out, and then a Brett promo. Am I still the best? Well, yeah, Brett, you are. Yeah, I mean, Brett's one of my favorite wrestlers of all time. Sad 4 years after this, or just over 4 years after this, he would get, kicked by Goldberg because Goldberg was careless and kicked him and hurt him. Severe concussion. Fucking hell. Anyway, this was actually a pretty good promo, but, the Dark Side, Undertaker's team won. They all survived. And then the wild card, bitches. Had to work that in again. Friends and foes. This went nearly 28 pissing minutes when it probably didn't need to. Ahmed Johnson, British Bulldog, Sean, and Sid. So you had two faces, two heels. And you have Ahmed Johnson, who looked great and had the personality of a wet blanket. You believed what he said, even if you couldn't understand what the fuck he said. And I don't think he could understand what the fuck he said. They took on Dean Douglas, Owen Hart, Razor Ramon, and Yokozuna. So basically one face on that side. Razor Ramon. The entrances took about 4 goddamn years to happen. Sean eliminates Dean first because Dean Douglas just could not get over on anybody, and he got on the Click's bad side. Got pinned about 7.5 minutes in with a roll-up. Razor helped because he was upset at Dean because of the whole Intercontinental Championship thing, and the Click. Owen and Bulldog tangling everything. They would be future tag team champions. Sid with a one-arm chokeslam on Razor. Accidental super kick to Sid from Sean. He's like, well, oh well. And then a Bulldog leg drops Sid accidentally, and then Razor gets the pin. Very bizarre finish. Then Sid powerbombs Sean. Razor covers for 2. And then Owen targets Sean's head, and then Owen, hits the mat really hard on a diving headbutt. Pearl River Plunge pins Owen, and then we get Sid and Kid, which sounds like a terrible version of Sid and Nancy. They distract Razor, power slam the Razor from the Bulldog, and then Bulldog gets taken out because he's trying to stop Yokozuna from getting beat, even though he's on the other team. And a super kick, and then a splash, very lame splash from Ahmed Johnson. He must have learned from the Ultimate Warrior. 1, 2, 3. And then Sunny is on Bill Clinton's lap, like she was on the lap of so many other men in the locker room. Sunny was Tammy the Tramp in every sense of the goddamn word. If she would actually, admit her faults and get clean and stay clean, I might actually care. But nah, she's a freaking gutter trash human being, outside and inside. So I don't really have any sympathy for her. This was a good match, though. I still think it went on a few too many minutes. But that being said, you got this many talents in the ring. It is what it is. Bret Hart versus Diesel, WWE Championship. No countout, no disqualification. A classic. Bret was wearing Diesel down, targeting his leg and everything. And Diesel just uses power. That was the idea. If Diesel's on his feet, he's dominant. If Diesel's down, then Bret can beat him up. Brett right on the insertion, says JR. Horny JR was around even in 95. Cord around Diesel's leg. We've got a chair. Man, a Canadian using a cord to gain the advantage. God, Benoit did take influence from Brett. So then we get a table bump for Brett, and then we got a really funny spot where Diesel was choking Brett with the cord earlier before that, and I cut some cool pictures I put on my social media. As I say that, as I completely run out of breath. So he goes for the jackknife. Brett keeps falling down. And then the most devastating maneuver in all of professional wrestling. Actually, this was the inside cradle, not the surprise roll up. 1, 2, 3. New champ. Diesel hits a couple jackknives, lays out the refs. And this is a Diesel that should have fucking been champion before. You know, not the babyface Diesel. Should have been the badass heel Diesel. The cool heel Diesel. You know, the big sexy, big daddy cool. Should have been like that. He probably would have been cheered a whole lot better because he got cheered. It's not that Brett got booed, but they were like, yay, they're doing what we want with Diesel. This was a pretty good pay-per-view, though. Overall, you know, way more positive than negative. But let me know what you guys think in the comments. Like, share, subscribe. Twitter handle in the description. I'm Charles Ritlin. I'll see you soon.